Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel here in Jackson, New Jersey, an outlet mall here. And I bumped into Leo, who has a really cool van. Leo's going to give us a tour of his van, and he's going to tell us all about it. Leo, welcome to New Jersey Outdoor Adventures.
Thank you, Patrick, for having me. So my name is Leonardo, and this is my 2005 Econoline Ford van, and this is my new home for the past 6 months, and it's been quite a journey living in it. And I gotta say, this is something else. Totally different from living in a house. So let me give you a little tour of the place. It's a pretty small place, only 60 square feet, so it shouldn't take long. So this is my my bedroom, and pretty much my kitchen, and where I do all my cooking and everything else. So as you can see, obviously this is my bed. This is a 3-inch foam from Amazon. I got for 90 bucks. This is the most comfortable bed I have ever slept on. Totally worth it. So these are my drawers that I have. Up here I have this is my cooktop. I have a 2-burner Coleman. This thing works great. It has a manual lighting system, so I go in here with my lighter, light it up, and I do all my cooking. It's pretty easy. However, I cannot forget to get my pans underneath. Once I open it, I can't close it. So this is where I store all my condiments and my pans and everything, my eggs. This is pretty simplistic, I would say, but I got everything that I need, to be honest. So usually what I do is, whenever I need to cook, I get all my stuff out and put it here on the side, and then I'll have about half a dozen of things, and then I'll come up here and I'll hook this up, and I have my pans going, and I'll do my cooking, and then I open this up, which, by the way, is my closet, which is where I put all my clothes and everything. I get my cutting board, and this is where I do my prep work, and also my table for eating. So it's very minimal. I don't really mind. I kind of like the adventure, the simplistic nature of this lifestyle. And so up there I have a shelf that I built. I'm so glad I built that shelf. I almost did not build it, but I'm so glad that I did it, because there's so many things that you just got to put away like really quick, and if I didn't have that, my stuff would just be all over the place. I got my climbing rope here. I don't climb very often anymore, but I wish I would. But I always keep it here to remind me that I should go climbing again. Got my hammock, got my piano tuner, because I tune pianos as a hobby. I love it. This is where I put my bathroom stuff. And I got a lighting for cooking. Usually the light that's inside of the van is not really strong enough. The light that I have in the van is it's a very dim lighting, very cozy lighting, LED strips, and it does a great job of lighting the place comfortably, and no stress in the eyes, and I really love it. And up here, so as you can probably tell, there's a space inside of this side over here, and what it is my basement, what I like to call it. And this is where I keep a bunch of stuff. I got a suitcase here full of wood, because I do woodworking. I got my guitar amp over here, and a bunch of electronics, soldering kits, few just storage in general. It's not a lot of things that I have, but it's definitely nice to have this place to put away all the things that I don't want to see every day. And back there, this is my 3,000 watt inverter. Very reliable. It's a perfect place for it, because it just tucks away very neatly. And then let's go down here again. So on this side I have my beautiful paper towel, and then back here, this is where I put my trash. And then inside here I have some junk. I got my fire extinguisher, umbrella, jumper cables. zip tie, Ziploc bags, and some other random things. And then on this side, I have my propane tank, which is connected up here in the hose. More jump cables, and I guess that's it. Nothing. I should be using this space a little bit more. And I think this is. Oh yeah, can't forget about my air conditioning system. Works great. To be honest, I have no problems sleeping in the summer with just this thing cooling me. Perfect. I love it. And I guess this is it for the front. There's nothing. It's not a lot of things to show, but it's definitely.
This wall here is, I guess, a metal partition.
Yeah, it came with the van. It's for construction stuff, so they have a wall to separate the tools, so that I guess helps with break-ins, so people don't get in. And I actually, funny you mentioned that, I cut this wall, this door, so that I could access the cabin, which makes it really convenient if I need to get things or just jump to the driver's seat without actually going around the van.
So if there was an emergency and you couldn't get out these doors right here, that is your egress.
Yeah, can you imagine if I got stuck here, or actually someone locked me from the outside because I have this padlock connects here over here, so someone could lock me inside and that would have been really bad. It's a good thing I have that. And up front. So yeah, I basically, since I don't drive with another passenger, I usually keep a bunch of stuff here. I got my skates over here, my boots, and some food. And in the middle, this is where I keep my refrigerator, my little cooler that runs off my car battery. It's not the most efficient thing, but it works. As long as I don't leave it running overnight, it should be perfectly fine. But I have another battery system in the back of my seat. Can't really see, but I can actually connect this cooler or other things to that battery, so I won't kill my car, my engine battery. And behind this, I have more, storage for food, and got all my snacks in one place.
Some of our viewers are going to wonder, that battery in the back, how is that charged?
Well, I have a system that's for charging only that battery, because what I used to do, I used to connect the battery of the engine with that deep cycle battery, and the deep cycle battery, since it's a higher amperage, it's going to overcharge the car battery, the engine battery. So I ended up noticing that after I killed my battery within a few months. And so now I have a disconnector switch. They're still connected if I need to discharge them. If I'm using an application which I need to just discharge both batteries, like if I'm running tools and stuff. And then I have a system that just charges that battery and doesn't charge the other one. Because I feel like I should have done more research. I feel like if you have different amperages of battery and you can't really mix them together, otherwise they will become out of balance, and one is going to overcharge another. So that's the problem that I had with this one.
Well, when you're building the van, there is some learning that is involved, and trial and error sometimes. But thank you for sharing that part with us, because some people might not know that. Yeah,
definitely. I didn't know that, and I should have known better, because it's the same thing with the little batteries that you plug in the wall, that you AAA or AAA's. And this is where I connect my my van to an outlet, and this is basically just an extension cord that I plug into here, and it powers the van. I have a switch that turns on from the inverter to the outlet. I'll show you in a second. So this back is a special part of the van. It's very different from most people's, because I do woodworking, and I really wanted a wood shop, but obviously living in a van, that's not going to be very realistic. But I gave my best, and this is what I came up with. So this is my wood shop, workshop. Obviously you can see a huge drill press that I use very often. I have a computer in the back, big monitor screen, and I got a bandsaw, I got a printer, I got a lathe. This is my lathe right here that I keep stored. It's a small lathe, but it does what I needed to do. I got so many things just around, and I got a printer right here. All my shipping labels that I ship products for. And then up there, that big box is actually a laser cutter, laser engraver. And I do a lot of woodworking, and a lot of my products need to be engraved and customized and personalized. So that is a big tool for my work. And if you come from this side, you can actually see up there is my workspace. Let me turn on the light. So I got my LED lighting strips over here for lighting, and when I bought these light strips, I did not know that I was going to be using them for this, because I bought them like a year ago, or years before building this project, and then ended up being the perfect size and the perfect intensity for this project. And over here, this is where I have a switch for my. Right now, it's connected to the outlet. So if I want to be input of the inverter, I gotta flip that switch and then turn my inverter on, which I can turn on right here. There's a remote control, so I can switch that on. And then when I'm not using that, I'll put it right back, and then I have power from the outlet. Works really well. And so this is where I do most of my work. As you can see, I'm the perfect height for this. I'm 5 feet 8, and this van is perfect for that, because width-wise, it is 6 feet, and since I'm 5'8", I have 4 extra inches to spare. And this is height-wise also works really well. If I was maybe 6 feet or so, this place would not have worked out so well. And so this is where I keep like a bunch of my hardware for my products, which let me show you what I make. This is a guitar capo. I make these by hand. These are personalized wooden guitar capos, and I signed the package for every single one of them. This is a product made with a lot of love, and since I'm a musician, I play like 8 instruments. It's just a hobby, and I just love playing instruments overall. I decided I would come up with a product idea to make, since I love wood and music. Capos for me was the perfect idea, and this is what I've got. And I got all this to actually build my capos. So this is like my jig that I have for engraving my capos, and I put my capos in here. I engrave the names of the person. I also do the packaging on this laser as well. It cuts pretty well for me. I got all the different kinds of wood of guitars. I got steel guitars, classical guitars, ukulele, and I also have string winders, which is one of my other products that I make. It's for winding the peg of the guitar, which is a really useful tool. And this is pretty much all for that. I do other projects as well. Like I love making harps. I love making random things, but I focus like 95% of what I do is for the capos and the winders. And also, I forgot to mention, I got some storage here. This is where I put a bunch of junk, a bunch of electronic stuff, just one of my jigs for making the capos. And talking about jigs, up here is where I have my steel jigs for making the capos. These are made out of just regular steel, laser cut to the design that I sent the company to make it for. And these things work great. I mean, it's a game changer from working with wooden jigs. This is absolutely amazing. And I have 2. So each piece of the capo requires that I have a certain jig. And like, if you just look around, I have a bunch of jigs just for making the capos. I have this for cutting part of it. I got this for cutting the arms, and then I have this whole suitcase for all the other steel jigs that I have. And this was a game changer when I started making my jigs out of steel. Definitely worth all the money that I spent making these.
How many man hours go into making each one of those?
Almost an hour, I would say.
And what type of species of wood do you use?
Oh man, I use so many. In fact, this is where I store my wood. So down here, maybe you can see, maybe you can't. I have a bunch of woods. I'm working on some koa right now. This is one of the most precious wood that we have at the place that I work, and this is definitely one of my most popular ones.
And is a lot of this wood salvage wood?
A lot of it comes from just the place that I work from. They actually buy wood from all over the world, and they resell it at the wood mill. And it's they have almost all kind of species. It's amazing, just the variety of that they have. A lot of the koa trees, they can only harvest whatever is already down. So that's why it's one of the most popular woods, and it's very expensive because you can't just chop down a koa tree and just sell it. You know, it's a very tight market. You know, it has to be very well cared for, and this is definitely one of the most prized woods in the market, and one of the most popular for making guitars. So a lot of people actually like to buy this wood for a capo because a lot of guitars are made from the same wood. And the place that I work actually makes guitars. They sell wood for people who make guitars, and for example Martin, they buy a lot from us, and this is really cool because the same company that makes guitars are buying that are buying. I'm also making the capos out of the same wood, so it's pretty cool to know that.
How would some of our viewers, if they're interested in purchasing one, where do they go to get one?
So I have a website called woodandcapos.com. That's where I sell all of my products. Most of my sales are on my Etsy page. Just look up Wood and Capos and you will find me. Capos, C-A-P-O-S. I'm probably one of the only people who make guitar capos out of wood. So you're probably not gonna have any trouble finding my page if you just look it up. It's I just love making it because I love music and I love woodworking, and this is the thing for me, and I love designing things. So it's a project that took me. It's been 5 years since I've been making them, and since the moment that I started making it to now, there has been so many improvements. It's a huge journey that from just knowing nothing, not knowing barely how to woodwork, to actually doing this, I would say almost professionally. I can't say that I'm like pro at it yet, but I'm getting there. If I just keep doing it, I know I'm on my way. But
some of our viewers are going to wonder, what was life before van life, and what inspired you to do this? Because I'm sure before you moved into the van, you were somewhere else. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So before I was living in the van, I was living upstate New York, and up there I didn't really know too many people. So when my lease ended, I was like, you know, I'm tired of this place. The place is really cool, but I just want to do something different, something more, a little more crazy, a little more adventurous. And when I was in California, I was doing a trip there. I was at this NEM convention, which is a musical convention. On my way back, I was in the airplane, and then I started chatting with this guy that was sitting next to me. He was actually building a van. He was actually getting two halves of a van and welding it together. And I ended up telling him that I wanted to live in a truck, that I wanted to convert a truck into my sleeping area, and, you know, travel and then do my woodworking out of a trailer that I'll make, a little trailer, a utility trailer. And then when I landed, I was tagged on Instagram by my friend, and he tagged me on a post, on a van life post. And he never did that. Like he never knew that I even was interested in living in a vehicle. So I found those two very bizarre coincidences something interesting, right? And then my dad had this van that he didn't use it, and he just had it for years and just never really used it too often. So, you know, I figured I would ask him if he would let me buy it from him, and I got a big no from him. He was like, because I told him the idea, and he was not happy with that. Most parents are not happy with a child living in a van, as you can imagine. So he said no. I was like, you know what, that's all right. I'll figure something out. And and then that's when I thought about doing the truck thing, but then that didn't work out financially because, you know, putting that much money into a whole new truck and a utility trailer, just didn't have that kind of money. And then my dad called me one day, and he said, you know what, Leo, all right, I'll sell you the van. And I gave him a down payment, and now I pay him every month for the rest that I have to pay. So I kind of got a good deal from it. I'm really happy with this, but before I had this idea of living in a van, I was never really into the idea of the van life thing. I was never really interested too much on it. And then just one thing led to another, and this is what I end up doing, and I'm really happy I did it. But my biggest dream at this moment is to live in a tiny house that I want to build. But that's a big project that's just going to come eventually. But I'm preparing for that because this lifestyle is actually preparing me, like every single aspect of it. Most importantly, the minimalistic mindset of not having too many things and just being out in the road. And that's one thing that I want to do when I build my tiny house. I really want to be out there just everywhere, exploring and meeting new people and building more tiny houses, designing and building. I'm really excited for that, truly excited for that. That's my biggest passion at this moment.
Now, some of the viewers are going to wonder, you know, besides the workshop part, because not everybody's going to do the workshop in the back, but I could see a lot of people would utilize this. What would you expect the overall cost? What did it cost you for the equipment, for the wood, for the mattress, everything you needed?
So basically, everything here is around $1,500. That's not including the drill press, all that stuff, all my tools, individual tools. That's just including the part for the van, you know, the plywood, the inverter, the battery. Actually, it's not even that. Maybe it's a little bit less, $1,200. It's not a lot.
Okay, that's pretty reasonable. And how do you shower, toilet?
So the place that I work, it's a wood mill. It's one of the biggest wood mills in the Northeast, and it's a very farm environment, and they have a couple houses there, and one of the houses it's empty, and I get to shower over there and do all the bathroom stuff, and basically I'm not always there. Maybe 4 days out of the week I'm there, and when I'm not, I'm at my parents' house or a friend's house, and they let me shower at their place. So I depend on kindness of people to let me shower and to use the bathroom. But if I didn't have that, if I was always on the road, I would just join a gym membership, or, you know, LA Fitness for something like that.
A gym that has multiple locations, every
yeah,
city.
Something that, exactly.
I heard a lot of people doing that.
A gym that's around me that I can shower.
And then where do you park? Like, how do you, I mean, this looks like a contractor van. It's not as obvious as my van, but do you have problems parking or finding places to kind of...
I never had a problem with parking. You know, this stealth design definitely helps at the very least. But I park at the place that I work. They let me park there because it's just a big property. And they're very laid back, so they're totally cool with me just staying there at the other side of the property. There's no problem. But I've slept at Walmart parking lots, never had a problem, and other kind of parking lots, and just for me, parking hasn't been an issue.
Now, before you gave us a tip on the battery, is there anything that came up along your build that you figured out the hard way, or tips that you give our viewers, maybe someone that wants to build something just like this that will help them overcome a couple hurdles?
Oh man, well, the battery thing was my biggest issue with overcharging, because I killed my battery pretty easily doing that. I mean, this van is very specific for what I do. My biggest passion is woodworking, so I really wanted to carry that with me. A lot of the things that I did was just trial and error, but as far as big mistakes, I wouldn't say I did too many. Maybe I did little stupid things here and there. I would have done maybe this plywood right here is reversed. Should have been facing the other way. So now I have this rough section, rough face facing this way. The other side I was supposed to leave it exposed. That's why I actually left it like that. But I ended up putting a blanket or a piece of fabric to cover that because I didn't want the wood look on that section. I kind of like the fabric look. So I was stuck with this. And the problem with having this side of the plywood exposed, that you get a lot of splinters if you ever put your hand around. I get splinters all the time, so that's one thing that I should have paid more attention to. And what else? Oh man.
Well, it is September now, and you said 6 months out on the road.
Yeah,
what are your plans coming forward? This is New Jersey, Pennsylvania here. We got some cold winters. What are your plans there?
My plan was never to be here in the winter. I was actually supposed to be already traveling, but I got this job at this place that I really love to work. And I feel like if I leave that place, I'm not going to be able to build my tiny house, because over there we have all the resources, we have all the wood, we have the tools, the space. So I feel like I should stay here until I finish my tiny house. But the thing is, I don't want to stay here in the winter. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk to my boss and see if he can lay me off for 3 months out of the year, the first 3 months, January, February, March. And those months I'll be traveling down to wherever I want. And hopefully that's going to be my life for the next year, for the next 4 years actually, taking off every winter, and then working at the place that I work for every summer, fall, and spring. So that's going to be the next step.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time with our viewers here on our channel. A lot of people that view this channel have interest in this type of lifestyle and are curious to see what other people are doing and the tips that you could share. I really appreciate you taking time. We're going to leave links on the description in the comments section as well, where you could buy his products and how you could find them on social media. And I thank you for being a guest here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I'd love it, and we'll see you soon.